Hi YouTube, this is Penwithers. Haven't really done a lot of modelling recently. Mainly been running trains and just tinkering around with little bits and pieces. And I've had a bit of a project on that I've spent probably the last 6 months trying to find information on the old St Ivel creamery, which I've managed to get this photograph and a couple of others from a chap called Roger Winnan, who is a member of the Cornwall Railway Society. And I'm hoping to model all this section here loosely. I'm not saying it's going to be exact, but I just thought I'd show you the process of what I do with this build. So what we're planning to do, I want to try and mimic it as close as possible. So we'll have the old brick buildings here. The interesting bit, which I haven't actually got any photographs of, but the building, the main part of the building is still there. Behind this tower, that's gone, the tanks are gone, chimneys, all that pipework. So basically you've just got that building, those doors there, which I think, looking at it, must have been like a boiler area. There was 3 chimneys there. And but behind that, the roofs are actually curved. So what I'm hoping to do is mimic that within my model. And I just thought I'd give you a little look at this section of the build. It's going to end up about 20 inches by 14 inches. So I'll just take the camera off the tripod a minute and we'll have a look how I start off the process. Right, so as you'll be aware, something like that I'm not going to buy off the shelf, so I'm going to have to scratch build it to a certain extent. So what I've done, I've started off with a bit of 4mm ply just to give me a base. What I want to be able to do is lift this off, because that section, there's a lot of track work underneath that I might need to get to. And what I've scaled it off from, counting bricks, being the sad person that I am, and scaled it up. So I've got this bit of ply. So what I've done, I've had a block of wood, which is going to make up that tower there with the windows around the top. The rest of it I'm going to do with brick card, which I've just started on part of it, which is a little bit out of the shot. That's going to be, I would have thought, no, it's a tyre fitters, but I would have thought it might have been like possibly a workshop. And obviously on that photograph there, you can just see the doors above those, or see where the chimneys are. There's some roller doors. So what I've done, I've made up a little wood frame. That's about 6mm square pine, which I've only literally glued it together with super glue. So that is going to go along there. And then obviously we'll return the brick, put a roof over that. But the interesting bit is going to be over here, because like I say, these roofs were curved. They also sloped, and they had 3 roof slopes on each. If you imagine where I've drawn those pencil lines, and there was like 3 curves over that. And then I'm going to divide that into 3 from that line there back to there. So they'll slope back, and then there was like a window section, and then the next section. It's a bit like a Northlight roof, but curved. But I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do that. But like I said, I just thought we'll have a look at this on the way. I'll just go out and show you another bit that I've done, and then we'll, perhaps join us again when I do a bit more to this. Right, so in this picture, obviously I've got this bit of grey building here, which was like a tower. So what I've done so far, you might have seen it in a couple of videos, but I've actually got on and finished it now. So obviously we got these 2 towers here, and then the little pitched roof section here with a couple of tanks in there. And basically they used to fill 2 of these milk tankers at a time. So obviously we've got the 2 filling points here and here on the tanks. Obviously made up a little pump in there, brick pillar supports to hold the tanks up. It was worked in quite nicely. And then I had a shot. There was a photograph online that I seen, and it was probably a photo like that, and it showed them filling one of the milk tanks, and I could see this, probably what you're seeing in shot now in this photograph. So I could just make out the tank in here, the filler, and the building just up to probably just over onto these windows. So what I had to do was guess that width, that actual building, but and I thought, well, we'll double it up, that obviously they can load milk churns onto the wagons as well. So we've got this section done, and I had to put an extra siding in just to give it a bit more detail, so that I could actually have, they only used to fill probably 2 tanks at a time, but I thought we better have a hold inside in there beside it. So, but the only trouble being, this section I want to lift out, so obviously I had to cut the track there, and with it being at that extreme angle, what I've actually done is put a screw on the outside there and one on the inside. The inside ones are worse because you've got to allow for the wheels to clear, but seems to work all right. All I got to do now is trying to work out how to power that. Possibly I'll have to put some contacts underneath, because I don't want to be screwing and unscrewing a cable, because like I say, all this section needs to be removable so that I can get to obviously here and all the track working underneath and the helix. So like I say, I'm quite pleased how that's worked in. Put some tanks inside the building there, a little bit of pipe work. I don't know if you can just make it out, but yeah, quite pleased how that's worked in. A little bit more detail and some weathering, it will probably look quite smart, but we'll take a look back when I do a little bit more to that other section. Well, here we are, we've done a little bit more. Made up some windows there, literally just had some plastic and marked out the windows with a marker pen. This here was the little timber frame I made up, and I've done these sliding doors or roller shutter doors. That's using 7mm scale plastic card, the like metal roofing effect one, which I thought hasn't made a bad roller door. Left this one partially open, and what I thought I might do a round boiler there and perhaps one next to it, so excuse me, look in and see a little bit of detail. So that corner's worked out quite well. And then here on the back, this will be the angle that you will see it on the layout mainly, and obviously the tanks will be in front of it, and that will be the tower there. So obviously radius these out, and then the bit that I've been thinking about, it looks like a north light from that direction. When we turn around and come to the front, obviously we've got the the curved roof here, and obviously each one of those actually slopes back. So what we've done, if I have a look down, obviously I've used 6mm perspex, and I've obviously cut the curves on that, cut that out with a jigsaw, which wasn't too bad. Then I've marked the windows out, and it was one of those things, all you're really going to see on these roofs is these little strips here. But I thought, well, I just as well run that right down to the ply, So obviously I've got some detailing to do on the front here and make like a loading bay. But at least you'll be able to look in, see all the brickwork. I've done the brick paper around the inside. And obviously what I did is overlay a little bit of mount board here. I thought I'll just paint it black, just take the edge off it. And then obviously these roofs are curved and they slope down. And I've been scratching my head a little bit, and what I actually had was a 10-litre plastic paint can, and I used that to get the radius on these sections. And I was chatting to a friend of mine, saying to him, oh, I've got these roof sections to do, and it's going to be awkward with it being curved but sloping back into that. And I was thinking I might use like a 2mm plastic card sheet. And my mate said, well, why don't you use the paint can? And I've just done the first piece. So this is actually, you can see Asco. I've cut the side of the paint can out, and it's really firm. And obviously it's pre-curved, so it works. Just grab another bit. That's another piece that I've cut. The back edge there has got to be curved a little bit, but on the whole, if I can get this into place, I just glued the other one so it might stick here in place, but just to give you an idea, I haven't finished this one off yet, but that will be the next curve. So my plan is I'll use that to do these curved sections, use that as a base, and then I'll it looked like a felt effect, so I'll possibly have a look on Model Railway Scenery and see if they've got like a felt effect download and cover that with paper. So, but yeah, it's been 6 months going through my head, but I think we're getting there. So I thought I would just put this video up. I think this is going to be plenty long enough. We'll post this up and see what you think. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and as I say, bye for now.